Hi there. I'm going to show you some nice stuff first before I show you all the stuff that I still have to do. All right. So this is the bed in front of the shed. Ooh, I was a poet and didn't even know it. We have strawberries there, lettuce there, and we have some rhubarb there. I've just harvested a ton of rhubarb, quite a lot. And I'm just going to leave that to establish a little bit so that the roots get a little bit more stuff or depth. I have weed killed here, so this looks pretty crappy right now, but I'm letting it all die completely before I can do anything. I haven't done anything with those spots. I know they're there. Don't think I don't. I think I'm going to plant this out, and I think I know where I'm going to do it, but I will show you once we get into autumn or if we have a little bit of rain. I've just harvested, you can see there, all the rhubarb that was here, and there's a little nub coming out right there, so I haven't killed it. I have a zucchini or courgette, what they call them here, right there. It's just been so drowned out by the rhubarb that it hasn't really gotten to its best size. Hold on a second. Just so you can see exactly how big the rhubarb is. This is my head. This is the rhubarb leaf. And the stalks are pretty big, but I'll show that to you at the end of the video when I go back inside. But huge, huge. Good for compost, I think. So, continuing on, I have some corn. Obviously, the stuff that has been hidden a little bit by the big, humongous rhubarb leaves has not done well. So I have 3 that have not done that well, but you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that have done all right so far. They're not huge, but we still have, we're just in the middle of July. I hope that they will do better. So this is a part of the garden, or the garden bed, that I'm not too sure about what I planted. This is obviously, these are obviously carrots. So they are doing they're interspersed here everywhere, and they're doing actually pretty well. Once they've taken off, they did actually quite well. I have 1 cucumber here out in the open, and I've already harvested 2. And this one is ready to harvest. I should do that, but I also have some buds for more, so I'm very excited about that. I've never done well with cucumbers anywhere else, so I think this is a good spot. And I'll show you a little bit more later. I have some bush beans right here, container beans, so they're not going to get big, and they don't need any propping up. Like I have here some peas. They're called Knee Plus Ultra peas, and we have been watching videos for years. Well, it got me through on calls in Lubeck, a thing called Victorian Kitchen Garden, and this is what they grew, and boy are they very, very good. And you can save the seeds, and when you get them again, they are exactly the same as what you planted. So I planted a second run, so the ones that look a little bit older, I planted out after Mama, I think I planted them out after Mama and Papa were here. So I planted them out the second week of May, and they're just about done. I still have a few pods here, as you can see. But they're going to be harvested probably after this video. and I have some new ones coming up in the middle. I planted them just about probably 3 weeks ago. So they are looking good as well. This is our burn pile, and this is all the stuff that should go either to the recycling bin or the burn pile, or maybe a compost bin. But I will tell you more about that. Maybe not today, but at a later date. I don't know if you can see him. Oh, let me see. There's one little sheep there. I think he hurt his leg, and he's not well on his feet. And I just hope he's okay. I think he was here last night, so I'm glad he was okay. I hope no foxes are around there, because foxes are pretty mean. I have some cherry tomatoes here, and they're starting to come into fruit. I've trimmed that a little bit, but they're still looking a little bit sad. I did fertilize them as well. So that's this bed. If I go here, I did tell you that I have strawberries here. They look pretty good right now, but they're not really ripening. I just don't think they're getting enough sun as what they should. And somehow I have a pea in here, or a bean or whatever, so don't know what's going on there. So let's move on to the greenhouse. I still haven't cleaned this up. I'm so mad at myself, but oh well. So I'm going to have a ton of Roma tomatoes, and Roma tomatoes are great for making pasta. And I've already harvested 2 that were very red, but now we're finally getting into the stages where they're turning yellow, and they're not looking quite as green or white as those. But look at that right here. Wow, I have tons of them. And if that's not enough, I have another tomato plant right next to it that has a lot more, and a lot of flowers, as you can see. This is a variety called Moneymaker. I just trimmed a lot of the leaves off to give it better aeration, because it is quite hot in here. It was 90 degrees when I came in, but they're still looking good. They are starting to turn at the bottom. Those are the oldest ones. Those what they look like, and that's just about as big as they're going to get this year. We have a lot of green ones and a lot of ones that are just forming, like right here. So I'm quite excited about that. I have a Zaha tomato, and those are a brown or a chocolate tomato. So that's the only plant that has actually done anything well here. And again, this is another Roma tomato. I can tell because of the shape. Ooh, let me find one. Because of the shape of them. So I'm gonna have pasta, tomato pasta coming out of or tomato sauce coming out of my ears when they all ripen. So there's on the other side of the greenhouse, that's my cherry tomato, just so you get a little bit of an idea of where we are. My little friend is just about there. I hope he's okay. He's all alone. I feel really bad, and I don't know who to call. But oh, he's just gotten up, and he must be knowing I'm talking about him. So I have a beefsteak tomato here. This is, let me think, that's east, and that's west. This is south facing. So this is where our property ends. You can see the fence. Ooh, wait. You can see the fence right here, and that's that big white building that is along the shed, which is over there. So, this is a beefsteak tomato. It's looking pretty good, but I don't have any fruit yet. It's called beefsteak super, oh, I can't read it. Hold on a second. Marmande. So we'll see how that goes. This is a moneymaker tomato. Bob really likes the moneymaker tomatoes, so I planted one of those. Those are the little tomatoes that I gave you, Mama. This is a tomato called Endless Summer, which I think I got in the United States. These are cucumbers, mini gherkins, I think, but they're not doing as well as I had hoped. I think the trees here are just causing them to not get enough sun. This is another tomato, which I don't know, but I'm assuming that they're going to be something like Roma, because everything else is. And Mama, this is your Christmas tree cactus that I stole a little branch from when I was at home in February. So that is the greenhouse, and I hope next year I'll be able to do a little bit more with that. So I'm gonna go walk around the greenhouse, and you're probably gonna roll your eyes and shake your heads the way it looks, but what I've planted here are called tiller turnips, and these tiller turnips are what you call a chop and drop kind of plant, and I'll tell you in the next video what I do with them. So chop and drop is basically you well, no, let me start over again. So these are called tiller radishes, and the reason why I planted them is because we have such super heavy clay soil. It's like concrete. You can't do anything. I can't even get a spade in there at any point. And I have planted all of these as basically when it was quite muddy here. And since we've had such dry weather, they've all kind of bolted, so I don't know how effective it is going to be, but I'm going to keep them in, and I do water them now and then, but the reason why I have them in here is because you're supposed to plant these and then just chop the top off of them at the end of the season and leave all of the foliage and all the stuff on top so that everything rots down. The turnips, which they basically are, grow far deep into the ground. They're really resilient, and they can travel through heavy clay. And when you chop them off at the end of the season, the turnips themselves, they rot in the winter time, and the tops of them also feed the soil that's here. So the turnips that rot away will leave pockets of air pockets. That's ideal, and so that more of the compost and everything that's on top of the soil actually kind of dies down. So that's the theory. Let's see if it works. I'll let you know in next year's videos. But what has really been doing well, and I'm very excited, is my catawba vine, and that's Vernon. He has grown enough that I can make a cutting for a friend of mine, Marina. And this is actually my my standard gooseberry, Stachelbeer, that I had in Lübeck, but it has kind of morphed and it's turned into a red currant. which is not too bad. I like red currants too, and so I'm just gonna leave them there. It was slow to start, and so it's slow to ripen, and I think a lot of birds have probably already gotten it, but I'm okay with that. You can see a red berry right there. I've been putting one of this is my compost, but apparently there was a potato in there or two, so I'm growing potatoes in there. Compost and old grass clippings have been put into here as well. It's just to kind of get the soil a little bit better. I don't know where I'm going to put my compost bin because what I'm doing now is just not the right thing, and I'll show that to you next. So like I said, here are my compost bins, my multiple compost bins. This is not only the only things that I have is compost. I just trimmed, like I said to you before, the rhubarb, so there are all the rhubarb leaves. I'm going to cut them up or blend them and make them a little bit more amenable to a compost bin. Below there is also a compost bin, and here is also a compost bin where I just have been putting little things away. I'm hoping that I'll be able to use this in a future compost bin, or if we do not take it away before, which I'd really like to do. So this is my kiwi plant, not doing that well here, and I was wondering maybe if I should put my compost bin here. There's my water tonne. That is not very full because, oh, let me not drop the phone, because it's very, very empty. I'm reaching my hand down and I have about 2 foot and a half probably until I reach the water. So not ideal. We have one wisteria here. I've already planted out the other one somewhere else. And so that's basically, and I don't know where to put this. There's no room in Bob's shed. So, and there's no room in mine, and I'm not showing you my shed. So this was the Mediterranean garden a little bit. I have parsley, I have dill, I have oregano in 2 places, but my bay leaf is doing really, really well. My bay leaf tree loves it there. I've cut it back a little bit, but it's getting so many new shoots. Here, let me show you. Look at all those new shoots and new leaves. It really loves it here. So I'm gonna leave it there, probably indefinitely. I have some lemon balm and I have some lavender. That is just about to bloom, which is very nice. I still have to put my white currant up on the orchard hill, and I still have this little Christmas tree that I really still don't know what I'm going to do with. Just behind the Mediterranean bed, we have the stairs that go up to our driveway that goes, whoop, oh, there you go, that goes along the back of the house. So I've cut back a whole lot of stuff here, and I've cut back a lot of stuff here, and that's where actually on that paving slab, that's where I banged my knee, and now I'm getting probably an MRI, hopefully on Tuesday. So I've been cutting back all this stuff here. Let me get another shot. And it's just a mess. There's 2 sinks there, and there's who knows what's behind all of this, but I have to cut away the dead branches as well, but I was on call this weekend, so I wasn't able to do it this weekend. I'm hoping next weekend Bob is not there, so not here, so and I'm carless I think next weekend, so we'll be all right. So this is the big building and the 2 trees that I was talking about before, and there are my 2 little places of serenity. So I'm just walking past where we have our clothes washer and our new light, which is not really great at the moment because the door, when it swings open and nobody takes note of it, it whacks that light. But that's not what I wanted to actually show you. What I wanted to actually show you is here, that's our root cellar. And I have planted a mock orange there, and it hasn't died yet, even in this drought and everything. I have actually been able to keep it alive. And you can see that the newly painted fence is looking pretty good from this side as well. So going on from where we just were with the mock orange, I'm going to go around, and this is the moat, and I have taken out the rose that was in this decrepit looking pot, moved the pot a little bit so that it looks a little bit better, and I think it's kind of nice, and I wanted to use it. And I have put one of my wisterias here, and it seems to like it here, so I'm very, very happy. That was the bird nest where we had 3 little blue tits, and we had our camera on it, and I think this coming spring I am going to have the hookup that goes to my computer so I can take some videos of it. I've strung this long branch up there, but it doesn't look like it has even moved. It's very happy here, and I think I have some new growth already on it either, even in the spring, or since I've done it, and in this drought. So these are our mason bees. These are how hard our little mason bees have worked in our garden. About roughly four, or maybe even 5 little new mason bees are going to be in each of these tubes that are in there, and they help with pollination of fruit trees and plants and all sorts of things. I think they're pretty much done now for their little season. And we have 15 in here, and we have another one which only has 2, I think, 2 tubes. But this is a perfect location, and I think we're going to have more nests and more tubes in this area next year. What we do with these is we take the tubes out and we send them away, and we get our bees back, our mason bees back in the following spring. They count them, they tell us how we've done, and it's a really nice process. If you're interested in that, I can give you a link for the American mason bee site. They're not honeybees, they don't sting, they don't even have stingers, I think, and they just go about their way, going from tree to tree. So really, really nice. Here I have moved my tomato planter. It was at the one end of the at the far end of the greenhouse, but they weren't doing that well, and I think it was a little bit of my fault that I wasn't taking care of them enough. So I have 2 different types of tomatoes here. One, an Ailsa Craig, which is a good outdoor tomato here in the UK, and the other one is called Shirley, another one that Bob really likes. So that's the Shirley, and that's the Ailsa Craig. And then I have a general normal cucumber, which hasn't really been doing that well, but when it was there, but now I have nee, die sind die Einlegegurken, and so I'm gonna have Einlegegurken, and they're doing much better here. They get plenty of sun. We have the sunrise at the moment at about 4:30 a.m. Not very strong, but then about at 2 o'clock the sun goes away. So I do think it's enough sunlight for these plants. We'll find out after a while. This is my still kind of, I don't know what to do with right now spot. This, I believe, is a red currant, no, a black currant, and I will be cutting very shortly so that, well, maybe others can enjoy. And I have two red maple trees. One will be planted this year still in honor of Ellis, and the other one will be in honor of the Queen. I just am not quite sure where I want to do that yet. We also have two red raspberry bushes that almost died because of the drought, but I have also now resurrected them, and they are in plenty of water. What I'm particularly proud of are my half oak barrels that I got, which have some white hydrangeas in, and right now the petunias are overgrowing them. But you can see here is the first one that has one really pretty bloom. It's looking a little bit sad right now because of probably the drought, and I've been watering them luckily every day, and probably with the mostly with the water that I have from my dehumidifier, so I'm reusing the water. And here's the second one, who doesn't have any blooms, but they are much higher, as you can see, and I think next year they're going to look great. However, interestingly enough, the petunias aren't doing that well, so give and take, but I still think it looks really pretty. And the same goes for that one. Really great petunias, but no flowers, but it's still looking okay. They are still growing. I've just, this morning I put an Osmocote, I put Osmocote in there, so I'm hoping, a long release fertilizer, so I'm hoping that that's going to help everything look a little bit better, because I have been watering them all pretty much the same. This one is a problem because nothing seems to be doing well, and I haven't used any different compost or anything differently here, so I don't know what's going on here. I've watered them the same and just don't know. And here's the last one with my ugly new car in the background, but two blooms and relatively good blooms, but still not as great as the first one. I'm not going to show you that right now because it's crappy. All of this has been, well, that part has been weed killed. I'm not sure how much I got weed killed there, but you can see weed killing there, weed killing there, and I've also done quite a bit of weed killing over here, but you really can't tell yet. I'm gonna probably blast it maybe tomorrow again. Probably the last video for tonight is, I just wanted to tell you that I was telling you that I was weed killing here between the rocks, and it looks like it's been taking it all right. I am not quite 100% happy with it because there's still a lot of green growing in between. I'll probably do that tomorrow night or sometime. Well, I probably have to do it tomorrow night because we're due rain on Wednesday, and I really want it to work. But you can see really here, right here, is really nicely dead. Not so much in between, which I really blasted as well, but I'll take it. It's still a lot better than what it was. I got new weed whacker. What is it called? Weed whacker string. Yeah. And so I hope it will be better. You can also see around the septic tank, because That's just a bear to mow around. I did that there. Bob probably hates it, but I don't care at the point. Sorry, Bob. So, and then we're back to the tiller turnips, the peas, the neat plus ultra peas, my carrots, and whatever else is in there. They're probably weeds. I'm not sure really, but I've left them in because I don't want to disturb the carrots either. And so yeah, this is basically what everything looks like at the moment. For the month of July. I love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.